Good morning, everyone. We are entering a very special month, and this is the month of Elul. Ani ledoidi vedoidi li. I'm to my beloved is to me. It's time to get closer to the tshuva. Let's learn something in this sixth parsha. How do we connect to Hashem? And this is where we have to head to. So this sixth parsha, we're having the very famous pasuk when Hashem gives us 6 levels how to connect Him. And the pasuk is in chapter 13, pasuk 5, verse 5, when it says, Achrei Hashem Elokechem Telechu, that's step number 1, Otot Yirau, step number 2, Etz Mitzvotav Tishmor, step number 3, Bekolot Tishmo, 4, Botot Avodu, 5, and the last one, and the highest one is Ubotid Bakun. So the first is follow God, fear God, do His mitzvot, listen to Him, serve Him, and cleave to Him. That's number 6. And as we know that this is 6 levels to get closer and closer and closer to God. We'll talk about the number 6, cleave to God. What is that? So Rashi tells us what does it mean, how do you cleave to God? So Rashi says, do what God does. God does mitzvahs, and God, Rashi points out, God does gmilut chasadim and other mitzvahs. Do the same. Comes the question, we learned that number 3, if I'm not mistaken, number 4 was mitzvotav tishmor, keep the mitzvot. So that's a step before, a few steps before. What is cleaving to God? Doing mitzvahs like God does. That's a part of doing the mitzvahs. And we say this is the ultimate level of connection. What is that? So the explanation is short, very short. Is there's 2 ways how you can do a mitzvah. You can do a mitzvah the way we all do. Is that Hashem told us, He commanded us, and we do, we follow. As we always say, we're servants to God, we follow. But you can do it because you cleave to God. Ubotid bakun. What does it mean? When you cleave to God, you do a mitzvah in a way that you are just a reflection of God. God does the mitzvah, you do the mitzvah. It's not something that you doing it. It's subconscious. God does it, you're automatically doing it too. Whatever God does, you do also. It's a great, great level. That you completely like the shade of God. Whatever God is, you do the same. And this is the greatest level to reach. To be so connected with God. To cleave with God. Tidbakun, like glue. To be like automatically by you. It's not that you're doing something. It's automatically being done. God does a mitzvah, you do the same thing. Whatever God does, you do also. Doing a mitzvah means you have to do it. You take initiative to do. A greater level is there's no initiative. It's just so connected. You're so one with God. God does it, you're part of it. Just understand the idea, that's famous story. We know it says in Kabbalah that Friday in the afternoon, there's the idea of sleeping above, whatever that means. God sleeps. What does that mean? I don't understand. But that's what it says. So therefore, great people, they try to follow the weights above. So the story goes, there used to be a great chassid. His name was Rabbi Hillel of Parich. Spoke about him many times. Great man, holy man, but a chassid. So every Friday late afternoon, he would make sure to put himself to sleep for a few minutes, just to do the same below like above, do the same as it's being done above. But his story continues. The Alter Rebbe, first Rebbe of Chabad, the Baal Tanya, when it would come this moments late afternoon, right before Shabbos, automatically it would just fall asleep for a moment. And they say, you know what the difference is? The Alter Rebbe cleaved to God. By him, Botud Bakun was real. So therefore, if above there is a time of sleep, he falls asleep automatically. He doesn't have to do it. It's done. Rabbi Hillel had to do it. He had to connect. The Baal HaTanya was there in that level. He was glued to God. He was cleaving to God. So therefore, automatically, whatever God is, whatever God does, automatically he does too. Well, that's what Rashi means. Not just the idea of doing mitzvahs. But Rashi means titbakun, cleave to God. Whatever God does, automatically this is what you do because you part and parcel with God. There's no yourself. Comes the question, what is this relevant to us? We're not in that level at all. So this is where we need the other explanation what the Gemara says. The Gemara is asking, how could you cleave to God? How? So Gemara says, cleave to the tzaddikim. And they are cleave to God. By cleaving, by your connection to the tzaddik, you are connected to God. So that's the message. The tzaddikim, the great people, as we said before with Alter Rebbe, they were in the level, when they are in the level, that they cleave with God. What we have to do is, let's connect to the tzaddik. And by me connecting to the tzaddik, the Gemara tells us, this is how you connect to God. And this is how we will do our connection in Mitzvah Hashem for this month of Elul coming. We all have to connect to our tzaddik. When our tzaddik is to connect to our Rebbe. When our Rebbe is a tzaddik that cleaves with God. So by connecting to my Rebbe, I will, when I am connected with Hashem. And with this, God will give us Bezrat Hashem, by our strong connection with Him, we're going to get Ksiva v'chatima tova, have a beautiful and a great year.